Are you an inspirational communicator? Or, more significantly, are you interested in becoming one? If you do have that aspiration, then here's a couple of thoughts. The first is that becoming an inspirational communicator, or a more inspirational communicator, is actually a learnable skill. Now, you'll often hear people mistakenly say, oh, he's just been born with a gift of the gab, or she's just naturally good at thinking on her feet. If you look more closely, you'll find that typically is not the case. The people who stand out in the spotlight, who really are inspirational in the way they come across, have typically worked on it. They've planned for it. They've prepared for it, so that when they have their great moment in the spotlight, the fact that they shine out isn't just a coincidence. The second thing is that becoming an inspirational communicator is vitally important. The more you get on in your career, the more you get on in your business world. When you start out, then whether you're actually good at what you do is critical. But after a while, as you progress up the career ladder, or as you progress with your business, typically it becomes a given that you're actually really good at what you do. The difference between those who go higher up the ladder, whose business has become more successful, is typically down to how they project themselves and project what they do and what their company does to a wider audience, to a big audience sometimes, but more often in a whole lot of individual conversations, which are really important. Because you can be fantastic at what you do, you can have some fantastic ideas, but if you can't get them across, they're not really worth anything at all. So, it is a learnable skill, and it is really important. Now, I work a lot with people like engineers, people like IT folk, people like accountants in particular. Now, those groupings are not naturally, typically, really good communicators, but the good ones learn it's important, learn how important it is, and learn to actually do it so much better. Let me tell you about Accountant A and Accountant Z. Now, I call him Accountant Z for a reason, and that is that you could actually see the Zs coming off him as he put himself to sleep almost, let alone the poor person he was talking about, as he tried to get a point across. Accountant A, on the other hand, who was just as good at Accountant Z, at actually adding up and doing all those important things that accountants do and have to get right, but he was so much better at projecting what he did. He actually learned to tell stories so that he could actually paint pictures in the minds of those he was talking to. He really threw himself into upping his delivery style so that he didn't come across in a typically accountanty kind of way. And it really worked. People really loved him, and his business got bigger and better. So, the thing is, you can either be Accountant A or you can be Accountant Z. The choice is yours. The difference is working at it, throwing yourself in and getting yourself to a higher level. Planning, practicing, preparing so that you're ready for those big, important communication moments. If you think about it, even an accountant will realise that that really does add up.